Doc has lost his first 2 games.
But I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. I don't know. Would you ask Pop that question? No, you wouldn't. So don't ask me that question. And you would say, what a hell of a coach we have.
Glenn Doc Rivers, yes, his nick Doc, stuck so much to him that not many people realized that Doc actually has a real name, Glenn. Doc is probably one of the most, if not the most, controversial coaches currently in the NBA. In this video we will try to analyze what events got him to a position when he was considered a top coach in the NBA, and opposite, which led to situation when, as currently, he is seen as a walking meme. Stay with me guys, as some stories related to Doc are absolutely hilarious. You do not want to miss it, trust me on this. Coach Rivers' first time could prove himself when he was selected by Orlando Magic in 1999 to be their head coach. And what a start it was. Magic were lottery projected team back then, but he got them 41-41 record, very narrowly missing the playoffs. That was a huge surprise and Doc was named as Coach of the Year in his rookie season. Pay attention folks, because this will be a pattern with Doc and teams which were supposedly destined to fail. Doc led the Magic to over 500 record following 3 years and made the playoffs each time. Unluckily though, they were out in the first round in all attempts. With Magic, Doc showed that he might be a good coach in a situation when absolutely nobody expects the team to perform somehow well, when the pressure is much smaller and the bar is set low. His Magic tenure provided us with one absolutely crazy story. Well, crazy stories will be the theme later in his career, but check this one out guys. Supposedly, Tim Duncan, maybe the best power forward in the history of the NBA, was already set and decided to join the Orlando Magic in 2003 agency. Though at the very last minute, Big Fundamental decided to ditch the Magic and stick with the Spurs. Whole world was wondering what happened. Grant Hill, after all those years, decided to confirm what happened.
Tim's entourage, I'll just leave it that way, asked Doc, can significant others travel on the plane? And Doc said no. And you could it was just like the energy at the table. And afterwards, my wife was like, we were dating, we were married then. My wife said, he should have just lied. He should have said yes.
So the tenure with Magic ends. Doc got fired at the start of the 2003-2004 season, after Magic scored 1-10 start. For a brief period of time, Doc went to television, joining NBA on ABC crew. But it wasn't for long. Boston Celtics hired Doc in 2004, and this is where he spent the next 9 years of his career. They were not world beaters back then, but whole Doc Rivers saga was about to take a very unexpected, or expected actually, turn. Why expected? From the perspective of time, we know that Danny Ainge is one badass mother lover, if we're speaking about his skills as team president. Back then, Ainge assembled Celtics' famous Big Three, adding to the roster perennial All-Stars Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen. In their first season together, Boston scored an amazing 66-16 regular season and won their 17th chip, beating eternal rival Los Angeles Lakers on the way. Next couple of years, Celtics were always seen as one of the main title contenders, but they were eventually stopped in the postseason by teams like Orlando Magic, Lakers and Miami Heat. They seemed to be unbeatable during regular seasons, but once playoffs came, and big stake games, they failed. One ring, considering potential which Celtics had and talent, seems like a big underachievement. Also many people question what was the real role of Doc in this team, and his authority, considering the fact that Garnett, Allen and Pierce were driven and professional enough to be able to literally coach themselves. Some people go as far as saying that Celtics won the only ring, not thanks to Doc, but despite Doc. Pierce, Garnett, Allen and Prime Rondo, most probably, were able to score at least one more championship for Celtics. In 2013, Doc left the Celtics, leaving the team with a very toxic atmosphere in the locker room behind. Unluckily, it will also be a team for Doc. Championship with Celtics is said to be the single most milked championship in the entire history of the NBA. This one single ring propelled Doc to status as one of the top coaches. In 2022, Doc was named as top 15 coach to ever coach in the league, causing huge stir and rebellion among NBA fans worldwide. This Celtic rings apparently was still enough to get him on the list. Just have a look at other people there: Pop, Larry Brown, Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach, Pat Riley, Steve Kerr, and Doc Rivers. Let me know in the comments what you think about Doc being there. But let's get back to the story. The next team willing to bet on Coach Doc were Los Angeles Clippers. With Clippers, it was yet another case when Doc had great players under his command, but also great expectations and not so great results. Big three of prime CP3, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan delivered a lot of memorable dunks and lobs, earning a nickname Lob City on the way. And here another pattern showed up, and this one was to haunt Rivers for the rest of his career. Doc in past showed that when expectations are low, he can actually kinda overachieve. But when the expectations are clear, championship, he folds like a house of cards. If there is something this Clippers squad was famous for, except alley-oops, surely those have to be some maybe most infamous chokes in NBA playoffs history. First, there was infamous Game 5 in 2014, when Clippers blew a 7-point lead with 49 seconds to go against OKC in the second round. Then, in 2015, they blew a 3-1 lead against Houston Rockets. In 2019, main stars were Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Team looked formidable, but in the bubble, they were destroyed by Nuggets, choking. Yes, again, 3-1 lead. Rivers became first coach in NBA history to drop 3 times 3-1 leads in the postseason. After this, Doc got fired. And here, we have again some crazy stories related to Doc and his team. And oh my god, I have to play this silly music once again. It is said that Doc got fired from Clippers not only due to how the team performed. Team is owned by one of the legendary Microsoft managers, Steve Ballmer, so you would guess he knows a thing or two about data and probably is fond of at least using advanced analytics, especially if he invested so heavily in it. Apparently, despite some crystal clear data output, Rivers was stubborn and was going opposite. Montrezl Harrell was getting cooked by Jokic and analytics were saying to go with Zubac. But Doc stuck to Harrell, and they got smoked by Jokic in the playoffs as a result. Imagine, your team owner, co-created Microsoft success, is heavy into software and data. You have advanced analytics showing you why you are getting smoked by Joker, and you ignore that. What could go wrong? After the Clippers catastrophe, Doc took his talents to Philadelphia. Now imagine being a Philly fan. Since few years you are fed with "Trust the process" slogan, and you end up with Doc Rivers as head coach. Well, what could go wrong? Blowing leads was observed again. 2023, 3-2 lead blown against Celtics in conference semis. 2022, 4-2 loss to Heat. 2021, maybe most infamous drama of recent years, loss to Atlanta and Ben Simmons drama. Doc folded against lower-ranked Hawks, but the main story was how Doc threw under the bus one of his top players. Sure, Ben choked enormously, and his limited skill set was very problematic during the series. But I cannot imagine any other coach on earth throwing his player under the bus as much as Doc did. Doc got outmaneuvered by Hawks. As always when his team faces problems, he has no answers and makes no adjustments. So underperforming star was a perfect scapegoat for our top 15 coach in NBA history. Ben bailed and forced a trade, but it stunk horrendously in the locker room during season. So Doc got Harden, and yeah, it did not work out too. No talent is enough talent for Doc apparently. So the Doc got fired from Sixers and went on Bill Simmons' podcast and blamed Harden for team's failure. So basically, Doc managed to blame 2 star players for lack of success of his team, Ben and Harden. At this stage of Doc's career, people already knew that Doc is nowhere near to be as good as years ago people thought he is. And that is very euphemistic statement. No team was interested in Doc's talent and Doc went to television. But the unthinkable happened. There was a huge shitstorm brewing in Milwaukee since longer time Giannis was suggesting he might leave the team if they do not create for him chance to win another ring. Giannis turned into le GM, Budenholzer got fired, and Adrian Griffin took his place. the team was performing rather well, scoring 30 wins with 13 losses, but it was not enough for Giannis. So, Bucks reached out for Doc.
I was fine, and I love coaching.
Why did you answer this call?
Because, I mean, come on, you know the answer. Giannis, Dame, really, that's the answer. Personally, I'll be honest, I told our owners when they called, I said, I don't understand why you're doing this, and they said, one of the things they said was, well, it doesn't matter, we've done it now, and
So Doc went 3-7 in first 10 games with Bucks, having Dame and Giannis. Overall, he went with the Bucks under 500 wins percentage, scoring 17 wins against 19 losses.
As a coach, you got to make a judgment call sometimes, and medical makes the call more. They kept saying he's okay, but I have eyes, and I just didn't like the way he was moving, and that's why I took him out the one time early. He kept asking to go back in. The trainer said he's fine, so he kind of stuck there. But I wish I'd have just said no.
Yes, you are not wrong. Doc threw under the bus medical team, but it gets better and better.
It's funny, I've actually been sitting back and watching everything. Not just our players, but our travel crew, everything. And I've made a lot of notes. I will say that. I won't share that. But we don't bring the necessary professionalism, seriousness on the road. And that's something that we can fix.
No, you are not wrong. Doc Rivers blames travel team and medical staff for large part of Bucks' problems. Whole world started to laugh at Doc, and ex-NBA players started to speak up.
I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. It's hard. We get it. Just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. They lose to Memphis. Oh, it's just players. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. And you look at his quotes over the weekend, now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy.
And now the playoffs are starting. Bucks fans, do you feel encouraged by all this stuff you've seen? I don't think so. Please let me know in the comments, how do you feel with Doc? I guess guys, at this point of my movie, you are able to guess that yes, I do think that Doc Rivers is maybe most overrated coach in NBA history. If you want more content like this, as always guys, please hit like and subscribe, and check some of my other videos. Thank you and see you next time.